My back didn't crack, so it didn't work. So is this true? If you do a manipulation, so a spinal manipulation, you'll often hear like a crack, a pop, a noise. Is this noise actually required for it to be an effective technique? Now the belief behind some people is that, oh, it's got a crack, oh, it hasn't quite got it, you've got to get it. But actually a manipulation is where you take the joint, beyond its natural range of motion. And, whether it has an audible crack or not, or pop or not, does that really matter? As long as it's gone through that range of motion, it will still hopefully achieve the same result, which is to, free the joint, loosen and relax the muscles, affect the central nervous system to do that, blocking pain therefore, improving function. So all the good stuff. We're not going to go into this video about, what it doesn't do and things that I've mentioned before previously. We're just going to look at the effectiveness of doing a spinal manipulation, whether it made a noise or not. And there was a research paper that looked just at this, so we're going to be able to cover this in today's video. So in this study, they got 40 pain-free individuals, and they did a before and after test, which was thermal sensitivity to pain test. And they were looking to see if obviously they were more sensitive to pain or less sensitive to pain because of the manipulation. Now, obviously they were looking at the manipulation's effect on that, but they were also going to see if there was an actual noticeable feel of a pop or a crack, so a audible noise that was felt or heard. And they did this thermal test on the leg and the back of these individuals. So the specific technique they used was a high velocity, low amplitude thrust to the lumbar spine. And they obviously were listening or feeling if there was an actual audible pop or crack. And they obviously recorded who felt it, who didn't. So all subjects had reduced sensitivity to the thermal pain, which is really good. It means that spinal manipulation lowers pain. And we know this is a reality as well. But was there a difference between people who felt it or heard the pop and those who didn't? Well, guess what the answer is? Drum roll. No difference. Literally, whether they heard it or didn't hear it, it had the same lowering of the sensitivity to pain. So this highlights that if you're having a manipulation and you're listening for that noise, it might sound impressive and everything else, and maybe that has some placebo effect, but it doesn't actually even need to make the noise for that technique to be effective. So don't worry about, oh, it's got a crack, it's not there, it's got to go, and forcing that to go further than it's meant to do. It's very much, the technique is the technique therefore works. It doesn't have to make the noise. Some people crack easier than others. I can crack and pop and everything all over the place, and I know loads of people, my wife is one for example, you just can't crack any of her joints. It never audibly makes the noise. I can still do the technique on her, but it doesn't make the noise. Does that mean the technique doesn't work? Is the technique not doing the movement? Well, she's very mobile, so the reality is her movement is going to be there. It's just not making that noise. So that's an interesting one, because a lot of people's beliefs are, oh, it's got a crack to actually be effective, and the answer to that question is it doesn't have to do that. So anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.